Hi movie makers, today I'm going to talk about transitions. If you always cut from one scene to the next, it can become predictable. So transitions are a way to bring variety and a sense of stylishness to your projects. Let's start with one of the most basic transitions, fade outs and fade ins. One of my biggest pet peeves as an instructor is when students use arbitrary fades. It's like, I haven't used a fade in a while, let me throw one in here. But fades give a very specific sense of closure to the viewer. They should be used to signify the end of one portion of the movie and the beginning of a new chapter. In this short I made, a couple have a wild night, the wife passes out, their friend leaves, we fade, and then we fade into the next morning. The wild night portion of the movie has ended, and now we're starting a new segment. The fade coincides with the act break between the second and the third acts. Even if you put the fade in the right place, there's other ways to mess up fades. Sometimes there's a fade, and we stay in black for a long time. The longer you stay in black, the more you give a sense of finality and of time passing. But if that's not the kind of statement you want to make, you're just going to be slowing down the pace of your film by staying in black for a long time. Your best bet is usually to fade out and fade in quickly. You can also cut out of black rather than fading in, but if you cut, it's a more abrupt, harsher transition. If you want a smooth transition, fade out and then fade back in. Also remember, you can fade to other colors besides black. In Run Lola Run, after Lola is shot, they dip to red before fading up on a scene that is shot with a red filter. Another stylish transition is the graphic edit. A graphic cut is where the graphic properties of one shot match the graphic properties of the shot it is cut to. The most common example cited of this comes from 2001, where an ape throws a bone in the air and Kubrick cuts to a space station. The size, shape, and color of the bone match the look of the space station, so thousands of years of human evolution are spanned within a single cut. Here's another example from The Usual Suspects, where the cave opening matches the graphic properties of the coffee cup. Transitions like this won't make or break your movie, but they're a slick way of moving from one scene to the next, and will earn you points with the viewer for being clever and stylish. Here's another graphic cut from Touch of Evil, where Wells ends one scene with a character looking out the window and starts the next scene with a different character looking out a window. Orson Welles uses a lot of these kinds of transitions in Citizen Kane. If you want to use this type of transition, you'll have to plan for it in production, unless you get really lucky in the edit room and find that you have two shots that you can cut together that just happen to resemble each other. You can also use graphic cuts in montage sequences. Here's a famous one from The Graduate, where Benjamin's action in the pool matches his action in the hotel room with Mrs. Robinson. And here's another famous one from the baptism sequence at the end of The Godfather. There's a lot more to go over in terms of transitions like L cuts and wipes, but we'll save that for another time. Until then, get to work.